All right. So our track, our working group focused on leadership and culture. So we decided to target kind of senior executive leadership to build awareness, but also if you're in an organization like ours, there's a lot of skeptics around DevOps. So this is a way to kind of take some of the common myths and do some myth busting. So we're going to go into details on what we came up with. Maybe.
The first myth is it doesn't add any business value. And I feel so strongly about this, I almost start off every book with the business value and what it can provide, because my experience has been a dramatic transformation. Although your experiences might be different, and this may be a myth, it may be one-off, the reality is that Gene just got together all these people from around the world to come sort of pull a farce on everybody because this doesn't add any value, and he got everybody to come up here and talk passionately about it. Is just not realistic. So people are here because it's adding business value.
The next one is that there's no ROI for legacy applications. So as someone who works in an environment with a lot of legacy applications, we have a number of examples of where that is a myth.
Yeah. And then for unicorns only, a lot of people talk about the unicorns, have been for years. You're seeing a lot more enterprise organizations doing it. It applies to both types. The thing that you probably need to start with is understanding whether you have a loosely coupled architecture that it can approach it more like a unicorn, or whether you have a tightly coupled architecture that requires a large number of people working together to develop, qualify, and deploy code. And if that's the case, you can see the benefits, but you need to take a different approach that takes that into account.
The next one is that it requires spare time. There are actually a couple of us having this conversation at lunch today. With these techniques, though, you end up in a situation where if you understand the work that's going on and you apply some of these concepts, you actually free up time to work on higher value work. So we'll talk about that as well.
And one of the other things that's out there is people don't think, I can't do it because I have regulatory compliance. And if you think about regulatory compliance, it's really about making sure that you document your processes and you follow the processes. Before you do a DevOps type transformation, that's all about auditing people and making sure people did what you said and documented everything that they did along the path. After a DevOps transformation, all of those processes and approaches in a deployment pipeline have been automated. So it's trying to make sure computers do what you told them to do. So if anybody out there has had teenagers or is raising teenagers, do you think it's easier to get them to do what you've told them to do? Or do you think it's easier to get your computer to do what you told it to do on a regular basis?
And the last one is we hear a lot that DevOps won't help us, or we don't have any problems that DevOps can solve. So I think there's a reason why we're all here, and so we'll go deep on that myth as well. So join us tomorrow, 11:30. There's going to be an unconference time. And here's some of the folks who helped us come up with the document and will be available to answer questions about the myths. So.
Look forward to seeing you there and trying to figure out how to help you with your current challenges.
All right, and now we're going to have Ross Clanton and Mark Peterson come up and talk about the next deliverable.